Nervous poops are real. My tummy still hurts, Jason.
Hi, my name's Whitney. I'm a registered dietitian. I already messed up again. Okay. And showing you ways to deliciously and nutritionally, that's really hard to say. Hi, my name's Whitney. For those of you who don't know me or are new to this channel, I'm a registered dietitian here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I absolutely love to spend my time in the kitchen playing with new ingredients and showing individuals how to eat both nutritiously but also deliciously. Today, I'm here to show you how to make a really easy baked oats recipe. For those of you who know me on social media, both on my Instagram and my Facebook channels, you'll know that this was really popular amongst all of those who follow those social media channels. It's a really simple way to meal prep in the beginning of the week to make something that you can just eat every single day in the mornings as a breakfast option. It's really versatile, that is super high in soluble fibers. It happens to be plant-based, and for those who are living a gluten-free lifestyle, it also is gluten-free. But I don't want that to steer you away from trying this super delicious recipe. So here are the ingredients you need to make this for yourself. 2 cups of rolled oats, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of nutmeg. Make sure you use baking powder, not baking soda. 2 cups of soy milk or any other milk alternative. I often use oat milk as well. 1/4 cup of maple syrup or more if you like it a little bit sweeter. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 2 flax eggs. 2 cups of fresh or frozen fruit. My favorite is the frozen cherries, but you can easily use blueberries, diced apples, really any fruit that you have in your fridge or freezer. And then half a cup of walnuts or any other nuts or seeds that you enjoy. And don't worry, you don't have to frantically write down all of the ingredients. The recipe link to my blog is down on my description. This recipe is super easy to make. Essentially, all you have to do is mix all of the dry ingredients together, all the wet ingredients together, and then put it all together into a baking pan. But before we start, I'm gonna get the flax egg ready, which is essentially 2 tablespoons of flax seeds, as well as 4 tablespoons of water to make a total of 2 flax eggs. What we'll do is just give that a good mix. And we'll let that sit for about 5 minutes until it's thickened up really nicely. Really similar to the egg white on a regular egg. The great thing about flax seeds is that it is really rich in omega-3 fatty acids. The important thing about eating flax seeds is that it can come in either whole flax seeds or ground flax seeds. It's important to make sure that you eat flax seeds ground because that's the way that you'll be able to get all of those great omega-3 nutrients from the flax seeds. If you eat the flax seeds whole, basically the way that it goes in is the way that it's gonna go out. So it's important to make sure that you eat the ground flax seeds to get those omega-3 fatty acids. And now we'll set aside the flax seeds to let it thicken up. So next, we'll combine all of those dried ingredients. That includes 2 cups of what I'll be using will be rolled oats. That great cinnamon, nutmeg, baking powder, as well as the salt will be going in there. If you don't have nutmeg, that's totally okay. The nutmeg adds that kind of something that just makes it taste a little bit more desserty and delicious. But if you don't have it, feel free to sub that out. And then I'm gonna use my trusty hands just to give that a good little mix. And then we'll set that aside and start with the wet ingredients. Next up, we'll combine. For the wet ingredients, you'll mix together the soy milk. Surprised I didn't make a big mess. The maple syrup, again, just 1/4 cup, but you're welcome to use more if you like. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then that flax egg. Like you can see, it's really started to thicken up. And then give it a good little mix. Okay, now for the assembly, which is probably one of the easiest parts. First, we're gonna grab those fruit that you choose. So my cherries, I'm gonna pour it onto the bottom of the pan. And you can kind of just give it a good little flattening out on the bottom of the pan. I'm in particular using a 9x9 pan, but you're welcome to use whatever size that you have at home. I'm using a glass one just because it's a bit easier for me to clean, but if you also have a metal one, you're welcome to use a metal pan as well. The only thing to think about is there may be slightly varying cooking times, but that's also a-okay. Next up, we're going to be putting the oats dry mixture right on top. Super duper easy. And what I like to do is just, again, use my hand just to flatten all of that onto the bottom. Then it'll be the wet ingredients, and we'll just give that a pour right on top. The last thing I'm going to be adding is just a little bit of nuts or seeds. Like I had said before, this is a plant-based option, fully vegan, and it's really important to get a little bit of extra protein in there. So I'll be using the walnuts, so about half a cup. You can totally eyeball this and just sprinkle it on top. I'm using walnuts mainly because it's another source of omega-3 fatty acids, which can be a little bit trickier to get into your diet if you're following a plant-based diet. I really like the texture and the flavor, but we often use any other nuts or seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, which can be a little bit more affordable. But if you have things like almonds, peanuts, really anything you got can go on top. I think I forgot something. I forgot something.
I don't know. I don't make the oats. You're my caretaker.
I think I forgot to add something.
You probably did.
Or maybe the recipe is just that easy. This is now ready to go into the oven, so you can stick it in a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes or until it's set. Should we tell them that I adjusted the timer to make it seem like it was going to be more perfect timing of, oh my gosh, it's ready. We need to go check the oven.
I don't think it matters because you're going to cut it out either way.
Oh, I forgot to go. Oopsie.
There you go.
Was that loud enough?
That was.
Let me try it again. Oh, we got how many seconds?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I think it went deaf from your clap.
How many seconds?
1.
I think that's ready. Do you want to go see the oatmeal?
Sure.
Watch it not be ready, actually. So, timer went off. I made sure I cleaned this area so that it doesn't look like a total disaster because it just did. So we'll check to see if the baked oats are done. We'll know it's done when the oats are, I'll put this down because I look ridiculous talking with it on. You'll know the baked oats are done when the top is golden brown. The oats will look like it absorbed a lot of that moisture. And because there's no eggs in it, there's nothing that we need to necessarily cook. It's just more so adjusting the texture so that you're not getting a really soupy or really kind of overly gooey oatmeal. So this is what it'll look like once it's out of the oven. Pretty golden brown. You can see it's really nicely bubbly. And we'll go and dig in now. I should probably also turn off the oven because safety. Here's the baked toast once it's already done. Like you can see, it's nice and golden on the top. The oatmeal has soaked up all those delicious plant-based milks. Depending on how you like to serve it, you may want to wait about 10 minutes just so that it cools down a little bit. But if you're the type like me that likes to have it with some extra plant-based milk on top, which will end up cooling it down a little bit, you can eat it right from the oven. Okay. So like you can see, nice and delicious. Depending on your preference, you can also cook it a little bit longer so that all of those oats have soaked up all that delicious plant-based milk. But I like mine a little bit softer. If you're planning to actually use regular eggs, it'll be important to cook it upwards of 40 minutes just so that all of the eggs are cooked and you don't get sick from possible salmonella. I really like to have it with some extra hemp hearts. I like how I'm saying extra when there were no hemp hearts already added, so I actually meant I like to have it with a little bit of hemp hearts. Going back to the omega-3 theme that we have going on, the hemp hearts will add a little bit of protein, some of those omega-3 fatty acids, and I really like the texture. And then you can pour a little bit of plant-based milk on top. And there you have it. Easy peasy.
Are you going to pull a Lauren Toyota and eat for like 10 minutes?
See, I notice a lot of these YouTubers eat their food, But I have such a stomach ache because I was so nervous of doing this that I don't want to eat it, but I know I should. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
So take a little bitey bite, making sure I don't burn myself. Really hot. Don't eat it right out of the oven.
You might have to take another bite.
It's so hot.
Yeah, you might have to do another bite. This is not like you're not selling it.
This is real.
Yeah.
This is real life. Honestly, it's really, really delicious. You get the different textures from the walnuts, which are adding a really good crunch. You're getting kind of that chewiness and bite from the rolled oats. You get the sweetness from both the maple syrup and the cherries. And then you're getting a different texture by adding a little bit of the hemp hearts on top. I'm gonna finish this bite before I keep going. Depending on your preference, if you like more of a drier, thicker oatmeal, you don't have to add that plant-based milk right on top. I personally like more of a soupy, really, really soft oatmeal, and that's why I like to add it. But do what you like. Add your favorite nuts and seeds, add your favorite plant-based milk, add your favorite different types of fruits to it, and really make it what you want. Like you can see, this makes a decent amount of baked oats. Usually when Jason and I make it on our meal prep Sundays or Mondays, this one batch will last us about 3 or 4 breakfasts. But if you have a bigger family, you can totally double make this and make it in a larger pan. It can be easily frozen as well, but it really lasts at least 3 or 4 days. So it's a really easy meal prep breakfast to be adding to your rotation as well. Again, if you want the recipe link, check out the description below. It has the full recipe over there over on my blog. But I hope you enjoyed my first video. Very exciting and very nerve-wracking, but again, this is my baked oats. See you next time.
I was gonna say I appreciate the credit for saying when you said when me and Jason make the oats, like I actually do something when you're making the oats.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He eats it, and you appreciate it. Do you like the baked oats?
Yeah, of course.
Because if you said no, then I totally would have cut you from this video.
The other thing that was super shocking is the fact that that was probably the fastest I've ever seen you chew anything in your entire life. The fact that you chewed that in like 5 minutes was like mind-blowing.
Yes, I'm a 20 to 30 chews per bite type person.
Yeah. And also, she didn't really explain herself when she said she enjoys soupy oatmeal. What she really means is anything homogeneous. So if it's like one texture that's like very like clumpy, or not clumpy, what's the right word? Smooth. That's her thing.
For those dietitians watching, I would do very well on a dysphagia thick puree diet. I like my homogeneous textures.
That said, she would still eat at risk.
That's true. You gonna take me for pizza now?
Sure. Do it.
I don't know if my stomach can handle it. Oh gosh. But I think I always have room for pizza. Bye. And in case you're wondering what it looks like the next morning, you'll probably notice it is thickened up quite a bit. So it really soaks up all of that moisture that you might have noticed yesterday. Enjoy your breakfast.